All right, the play is toss zone here, right? We give a toss, and we'll go into it more in a second. When we go toss, we end up making it look like an interior run, and then we hand it off. Or excuse me, then we get tackled for essentially no gain. There's actually a lot of nuance going on with this play and a lot of thought that went into this play. The first thing you may have noticed is that this is McCaffrey going in motion, and this is Deebo lined up as the tailback. Again, that's something that's somewhat unique to the Niners with their position versatility to other teams that have position versatility, but no one can do what the Niners do from 21 personnel. They're phenomenal. So they've got McCaffrey lined up as the Z, and then they've got Deebo lined up as the deep back. Now, McCaffrey going in motion and Deebo lined up as the tailback makes you think they're probably not just going to straight hand it off to Deebo, right? They're not just going to hand it off on an interior run play. That's not something you would normally see. And you would normally see eyes move with McCaffrey. Realistically, McCaffrey is uncovered on this, right? The Chiefs don't actually move to cover him. They must have had something on the scouting report that said, hey, they're not giving it to him in this set, or they've never thrown it to McCaffrey when Deebo is the tailback or whatever. There must have been something on the scouting report, but McCaffrey is completely uncovered. So that's actually kind of a strange little wrinkle to see. The next thing you would think is that if you're giving the ball to Deebo, you're trying to get him out in open space, right? You're trying to give him the ability to be that satellite player who can get out in open space. And that ties into what look they're trying to do. The zone toss idea is the idea that if we get the whole line going laterally, right, and we get a lead coming through for like a front side backer and toss out, is we can get to the edge. We feel like we can get to the edge. They're not actually running outside zone or fly zone or whatever you want to call it. They're running inside zone. Now, the great part about this is the genius, or at least what the intention I believe was meant to be, is that inside zone is built off the threat of outside zone. So if you've got a great outside zone team that can go this way really well, what you're going to do is you're going to force defenders to chase their gaps hard, which I know we've talked about in other settings before. If you can get them to chase their gaps hard, right, that means you feel like you can get your cutback lanes. And you notice that is exactly what's happening. This is meant to look like outside zone, then it's inside zone. Watch 65 here, right? 65, he tight bases him and he inside sets. He does not look to overtake. The center slams this guy back and then climbs up to seal him out. They are setting this hole inside. Right? This is intentional. So even though this initially looks like outside zone, this is definitely inside zone. And the toss action is meant to do it. Look at the flow, look at the flow. They're setting up great angles for these linemen getting down to the second level. Problem is, they end up not holding on to the defensive tackle on the backside here. They end up passing that one off. So I think 74 thought the right tackle is going to overtake this one, and I'm going to get the slide. And we're going to get a kick out from Juszczyk coming on the end here. I think it's what they thought was going to happen. So they're doing a great job getting all this lateral flow. If he stays on and he stays on and he kicks out, we feel pretty good about Deebo being able to hit through that hole. Unfortunately, that comes off right there, and it leaves the D tackle in the hole for a receiver, which is not exactly what you were looking for. But you can definitely see what the intention was. The intention was distract with McCaffrey and then make it look like outside zone or sweep zone, whatever you want to call it. It's zone toss, outside zone toss with a lead, and then turn it back into inside zone. That's a really strong influence to create those cutback lanes. And even if you run inside zone without the toss component to it, you still, let's say it was just quarterback in the gun and running back here, you would still have the running back sell to the front side to insert the linebackers into their gaps, however we want to assign it here. And then once that gap is set, now work back off of it. But you've got to place the Mike, you've got to place the Sam to the doubles. And that's essentially what they're trying to do with the toss. So I know this play doesn't work out, but the logic behind it is very clear. And it's really just a missed assignment on the backside combination here, where they're misassigning themselves on the on the nose. Was it nose here? Yeah, that's the two tech. That's the nose. So that's all it is. But this could have been a decent hit. This could have been a 5 or 6 yard gain. Again, now the box is stacked. The Chiefs must have something on the scouting report that said they got McCaffrey going in motion. But besides that, this is just a regular 21 personnel, right? I mean, you got 6 blockers plus a 7th, right? A fullback. Now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the box right now. The Chiefs have something on film that's saying, hey, this is run to Deebo. Again, I haven't watched all the Niners film from last year, but that would be my expectation. But the logic from Shanahan is very clear right here, and it's a great idea. And even though it didn't work out, it's a great wrinkle to just keep in mind for your own team if you're someone that tries to utilize versatility from the part of the players and is looking for other ways to create that lateral flow that inside zone is predicated off of, so you can create those cutback lanes.